This is video 13 in a 15-part series on Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, and today we're diving into chapter 13, the brain. Have you ever stopped to think about the true power of your brain? Most people see it as just an organ, something biological that keeps us alive, something that coordinates memory, speech, and body functions. But in the philosophy of success, the brain is much more than that. It is both a broadcasting and receiving station for thoughts. It is an invisible transmitter and receiver of energy that connects you with other people, with opportunities, and even with the great universal reservoir of ideas. When we talk about unlocking prosperity, especially after the age of 40, this understanding of the brain becomes crucial because it means you are never limited to what you consciously know today. You have the ability to tune into higher levels of thought and to pick up signals that can lead you towards solutions, wealth, and new beginnings. Hill emphasized that the brain is constantly picking up vibrations of thought from other people. It is like a radio, tuned into frequencies of success or failure depending on how you condition it. Think about this. When you surround yourself with people who are negative, complaining, or constantly focused on lack, your brain starts to vibrate in harmony with that frequency. You unconsciously absorb their state of mind, and before you realize it, your own thoughts reflect limitation. On the other hand, when you intentionally associate with positive, ambitious, and wealthy thinkers, your brain aligns with those higher vibrations. You begin to broadcast ideas with more clarity, and you receive inspiration that guides you into action. And here is where it becomes especially relevant for anyone over 40. At this stage of life, many people feel stuck, believing that their best opportunities are already behind them. But the truth is that the brain does not have an expiration date. Your creative imagination, your ability to think, your ability to connect with higher levels of intelligence is not bound by age. In fact, experience, maturity, and the lessons you've learned often make your brain even more powerful, because now you can connect insights with wisdom and action with focus. The creative imagination, which Napoleon Hill described as the receiving set of the brain, becomes the gateway to riches. It is through imagination that new ideas are born, and those ideas, once combined with persistence and desire, become wealth. The brain is stimulated by emotions. When you mix a burning desire with faith, enthusiasm, and even love for what you do, your brain broadcasts those vibrations with tremendous force. And here's the beauty. The stronger your broadcast, the stronger your reception. You literally start attracting solutions, people, and resources into your life. This is why cultivating emotional energy is essential for prosperity. Too many people over 40 get trapped in routines, drained by years of stress, and forget to charge their brain with positive emotion. They let fear, worry, or regret dominate their inner frequency. But the brain responds to whatever you feed it most. If you keep feeding it fear, you amplify fear. If you feed it faith and determination, you amplify opportunity. The practical key here is to deliberately choose your emotional state and your environment, so your brain becomes a magnet for solutions and prosperity. Hill also pointed out that the greatest forces are intangible. We can't see thoughts, but they are real. Just as we cannot see electricity but benefit from it daily, we cannot see the vibrations of thought, but we live their effects in every relationship, every decision, and every result. If you have ever walked into a room and instantly felt whether it was filled with tension or joy, you have experienced the broadcast of thought energy. Multiply that by millions of daily transmissions, and you begin to realize why mastering your own thought broadcast is so vital. For financial prosperity after 40, this means you cannot afford to keep broadcasting confusion, self-doubt, or "I'm too late." The world will echo that back to you. Instead, you must send out strong signals of confidence, of readiness, of expectation, of abundance. Your brain, when properly tuned, works like a magnet, attracting the right connections. Think about it. Every major success in your life likely came through a connection, a relationship, a moment of being in the right place at the right time. That was not coincidence. It was alignment of thought frequencies. And this brings us to a fascinating truth that science has only begun to explore: telepathy, intuition, and extrasensory perception. Hill mentioned experiments where individuals could pick up information without physical means. Whether you believe in that or not, what matters is the recognition that the brain is capable of receiving knowledge beyond what is consciously spoken. You have probably experienced it. You think of someone, and suddenly they call you. You feel that a decision is right even when you can't explain why. You sense that an opportunity is worth pursuing. That is your brain tuning into vibrations beyond the surface. The more you practice listening to your inner impressions, the more accurate and profitable they become. Now let's connect this to prosperity in midlife. Many people at 40 or 50 have accumulated experiences, skills, and insights, but they lack confidence in their inner guidance. They rely only on logic, forgetting that some of the best opportunities come from inspired flashes of thought. The brain, when charged with faith, desire, and persistence, translates those flashes into concrete steps. It takes courage to follow them, but those who do often discover entirely new chapters of wealth and purpose. Imagine your brain as a switchboard with millions of lines, each connecting you to resources, ideas, and people across the world. When you activate the right line, energy flows, and results appear. But when you let fear or doubt dominate, those lines stay blocked. This is why it is so important to deliberately feed your brain with positive autosuggestion, daily affirmations, and constructive thoughts. Every time you repeat to yourself, "I am capable of building prosperity no matter my age," you are strengthening a frequency that connects you with evidence of that truth. And do not underestimate the role of teamwork in this chapter. Hill emphasized that the brain works at its best when connected with other brains in harmony, which ties back to the principle of the master mind. When two or more people gather with a definite purpose, their combined mental energy multiplies far beyond what they could generate alone. For someone in their 40s or 50s, this might mean joining forces with younger professionals who bring fresh skills or partnering with peers who share similar visions. The synergy not only fuels creativity, but also sharpens focus. Alone, your brain is powerful. Together, aligned with others, your brain is unstoppable. Let's also pause on something subtle but profound: the role of habit. The brain functions according to what you habitually feed it. If for years you've been feeding it complaints, self-pity, or memories of failure, it will keep broadcasting those. But if you decide today to establish a new habit of gratitude, clear goals, and constructive thoughts, your brain begins to rewire its patterns. Science today confirms what Hill wrote decades ago. The brain is plastic. It changes with repeated practice. No matter your age, you can form new circuits of prosperity. The brain, then, is not only an organ of thought, but an organ of creation. By learning to use it deliberately, you transform your life. When you wake up every day and visualize your financial freedom, when you infuse that vision with faith and positive emotion, when you surround yourself with people who encourage growth, your brain becomes a powerhouse of attraction. Prosperity after 40 is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of tuning your brain into the right frequency and keeping it there. So, here is the big question. What are you broadcasting today? Are you transmitting doubt, fear, and regret? Or are you broadcasting confidence, purpose, and wealth? Your results are simply the echo of your signals. If you want a different result, change the broadcast. It is never too late, and in fact, this stage of life may be the perfect time, because you now combine maturity with possibility. If this content resonated with you, take the next step. Check out the link I left below in the comments. And if this message helped you, give it a like, share it, leave your comment, and don't forget to subscribe with the bell on.